to As the Story Grows. I'm Brian Patton. Today we welcome Brian Burdzy, frontman for Hundreds of AU, to the podcast. The new Hundreds of AU record, Life in Parallel, is out next Friday on Iodine Recordings. Brian talks about growing up in small-town New Jersey, how he became the frontman for Hundreds of AU, the lyrical and political ideas on Life in Parallel, and so much more. I always find these conversations with Iodine artists to be refreshing and deep, and I hope everyone enjoys listening to this chat as much as I had having it. Thanks much for listening to this episode of As the Story Grows. If you're brand new to the podcast, welcome. Thanks for listening. You can find links in our show notes or at asthestorygrows.com for our mailing list, our Discord server, and our Patreon page, where $1 a month will get you early access to every episode. Did you know that As the Story Grows has stickers? If you email me at asthestorygrows@gmail.com with stickers in the subject and your address, I will mail you stickers for free. So if you're interested in stickers, send me an email. Enjoy today's conversation with Brian from Hundreds of AU.
I'm a New Jersey guy,
Yeah. Is that you born and raised?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what part of Jersey?
So I was born in like Bergen County, so like kind of right outside the city.
Okay.
And when like I was pretty young, my parents moved us like way up north, and so it's like the sticks up this way. So like the more in New Jersey, the more north you go, the more south you get. And so that's where I'm at.
It is weird to look at a map of New Jersey and it's like you have like New Jersey that's Philly, and then like the middle of the state, and then New Jersey that's New York, and then it like veers westward, and it's just like, what the hell is happening over there?
Yeah, we talk about this a lot in the band because there are people in the band that I'm not going to name names that think there's Central Jersey. There is no Central Jersey. That's a myth. That's a thing that they made up. It's like Narnia. And, so yeah, it's a lot of ball busting back and forth, but
yeah,
there's just two types of people. It's either you're calling it Taylor ham or you're calling it pork roll, and that's why we know where you're from.
Nice. Nice. What was growing up like?
Up in North Jersey, it was idyllic, I think.
Yeah.
A lot of outside activities, bike riding, swimming in the lake, like that sort of thing. Like it's a real, in a lot of ways, it's like a country music video. You ever seen those country music videos where it's just like it's just people hanging out having fun?
Yeah, at the lake. Yeah.
That's really what it is. Like there was a lot of that. It's really like where we're at now is like super, like mega right wing political type of stuff. I don't remember any of that as a kid. Only time I remember signs and flags was during an election.
Okay.
And when the election was over, like you would just see the remnants of bumper stickers. Like people were taking the bumper stickers off their cars.
Yeah.
When, so it wasn't something that now it's a cultural thing, I think.
Oh yeah.
But back then it wasn't like, I know most of the people that like the adults and since I grew up with, like they are fucking right wing Republicans, but
yeah.
that wasn't their whole identity.
Yeah.
And that's what it is now. And it's just, and that part of it sucks. Just stupid stuff like that. But growing up it was great. I think as far as like just around, like the environment was nice. Once I got to like high school, I did not enjoy it.
Yep. I feel that. What that gets you into music, and maybe more specifically, like discovering punk or hardcore?
So for me, it was, I had like, I kind of knew who the Clash were because like my dad would listen to the radio and like Should I Stay or Should I Go would come on, or Rock the Casbah or something like that. And I love the Clash. So I knew who it was, but I didn't really know that much about it. And then Green Day was a big one. I was 10 when Dookie came out, and that's the first time I ever thought music was like made for me.
Yeah.
Like it just, like, it came in a perfect time because, like, some of those songs are about like girls and friends, and like now you're just at like 10, 11 years old, 4th, 5th grade, you're starting to experience like liking girls or the opposite or whatever. And then and also like, getting into like shit with friends, like, so that it just felt like that was for me. And I didn't even know that was punk. I had an older cousin that told me that was punk. And then they showed me like, oh, if you like this, you'll like Bad Religion. And so I listened to Bad Religion, and I thought that was amazing. I was like, he sounds like a very old man, but it was great. And like, and then it again came at the right time because Warped Tour starts kicking off around that time. It starts getting bigger. The Punkorama comps start getting big. Van sneakers are kind of getting, they're getting big as well. So like all the stuff that like has sort of shaped me, like started to rise up, culturally. And and then, so that was like the punk part of it, was like going to the mall, only having a few dollars, and like being able to buy compilations. The CD comps were like $3.99 or less. Those were great. And then, you know what? I probably would have gotten into hardcore earlier had the Victory compilations not been $15 a piece. That was like, because when you were buying the comp, like you had to reason with yourself. You gotta go, okay, well, I'm paying $3.99. I'm getting 20 songs from, maybe only 15 bands that I haven't heard of. That this is a good deal. It's a good sample. That's why they called it a sampler. And then Victory put their shit out, and it was like $15, and you just didn't know. You didn't know. What are you gonna get? Like, I knew I liked Strife because this kid I went to school with had the Cinema Beer Nuts comp. Yeah. And the Strife song on there is Blistered, and it's amazing. And I was like, yes, this is for me. And but like, I still didn't want to take that gamble.
Right.
So
that's a lot of money just to be thrown at something. That
right. That's a lot of.
Maybe I hate it. Yeah.
Like, minimum wage was not that much back then. That's a lot of hours to work. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So. Because you were kind of in the sticks, was there like, were you just like having to trek down to like New York or somewhere for shows, or Warped Tour was like?
Well, so Warped Tour was usually done in Asbury Park. Right in like the convention center parking lot or the Stone Pony parking lot. I think they're kind of the same thing. I really don't know, but that was where I primarily saw it. And then as far like we go to shows in the city, but like New Jersey, like we had our own local scene, which was awesome. And I really started as soon as I got into high school. I immediately just started participating in that. Nice. Because it turns out I didn't like anybody in my high school. I didn't have a lot of friends. I didn't enjoy being there. I went to a regional high school. So, like I went to grade school with these cats, and then we went to high school and they got new friends, and they like stopped. Then I became their like punching bag. If you've seen me up close, I'm like a small dude. I'm not a big guy. And so, like I was going through all that sort of stuff, the awkward, like body awkwardness or whatever. Yeah. And, I just wanted to get the fuck away from, I just got into punk and that stuff because like nobody knew me and nobody judged me. And I just felt really comfortable and I loved aggressive music. And we had like a pretty good mix of stuff happening. Like and that's kind of how I ended up, part of the way that I ended up getting into hardcore. Like I knew if you did, when I was a freshman in high school, if you showed me Minor Threat, I'm like, oh, that's a punk band. Like, you know what I mean? Like I didn't really have the differences, but once I started going to shows locally, like they were mixed bills. So you would see like a pop punk band next to like a spiky haired punk band, next to a hardcore band and a fucking ska band and an emo band and sometimes a goth band. Yeah. And just all kinds of weird stuff thrown into the mix, and everybody was just trying to be as supportive as possible of everybody else because this was our scene. And there was also like one linchpin band from around here called Folly, who were so important in like they completely changed who I was because they were a hardcore band that had ska parts, which is like, if you say that now, that's insane. Yeah. But that's nobody does that. But they did it because they were into both those things. And they got, when they got signed to like a bigger label, they got signed to Triple Crown, which like put out the brand new records and all that other stuff. Like, they could have signed to other labels, like heavier labels. Now, I'm not going to name because I'll probably get in trouble. But all those labels like, yeah, if you just drop the ska stuff, and they're like, nah. So like I had a tremendous amount of respect for them for doing that. I thought the records that they made were very good because of the ska parts too. Like it totally added a different element. And so then like I ended up like doing merch for them and learning how to book tours through them. Like they would sit there and show me how to do those things. So I learned so much from them, and they're such amazing people. They're still friends of ours, friends of mine, friends of the band. John from Folly sings on one of the songs on the record, which is like super important to me because like we both became dads at the same time, around the same time. And the song is primarily focused on like, feeling like you're not doing the best job sometimes as a dad, and feeling like, even as hard as you work to like do all the right things, like maybe things are slipping through the cracks and that you can't protect everything. And there's a feeling of helplessness when you're a dad. And I would all of like my like rough feelings, I would like bounce off guys like him and my other friends who had kids around the same time. And like John would do the same thing to me. So to have him on there to sing those words was like super important for me. And like, it just brought back great memories. I love hanging out with John. So
that's awesome. Yeah. That's awesome. You're just like, when my daughter was born, like we moved to Philadelphia, like right after from DC. So I was like, all right, now I'm a stay-at-home dad with the newborn and I have no friends. And it was just like, everything was fucking awful.
Yeah. No, it's tough. It really is like tough. Like now I try to get out to as many shows as I can. But I'm in a band. So like that, like luxury of like, oh yeah, I'm going to go see a band. I'm going to go play another show. Like, it's not fair to my wife. It's not fair to my kid. I have to kind of pick a lane a little bit sometimes. Yeah. Obviously, there are extenuating circumstances. Like when Ceremony did their 20th anniversary show, I was not missing that. And as soon as that became a reality, my wife was like, "You're not missing that, are you?" I'm like, "No." And she was totally cool with it. My wife's very, very good about a lot of this stuff. As much as she bears the weight of a lot of it, but she's super cool about it. The blemish personified, and roots at the center. Bodies of water, corpses of men. What does it cost to feel nothing? Let's fast forward. Let's talk about the band. You're the new vocalist. First of all,
did some research on you, but I did not research the correct pronunciation of the band name. I've just been saying hundreds of AU. Hundreds
That's it.
of
You got
hundreds
it.
of AU.
You got it.
Okay,
First try.
Oh,
You got it. Great job.
Yeah.
Great job. And here's the thing. It's funny you say that because I'm in the band now. I started out saying that name completely wrong. And for like 3 months, like 4 months, I was telling people, I'm like, yeah, I'm into this band called Hundreds of Gold. And like, and then like, you know, Paul is one of the guitar players, and he and I have been friends for like a real long time. He grew up in the same area that I grew up in. And, you know, I knew he was in it, and he told me about it. And when he sent me the files, I was like, for the first record, I was like, this is good. So I think I said to him, I'm like, when's Hundreds of Gold playing? He's like, oh, just so you know, it's Hundreds of AU. Like, he was really cool about it. But like, yeah. So when we go out and play shows and like, you know, sometimes we play shows and only like a handful of people know who we are.
Yeah.
And like you'll hear the people who don't be like, oh yeah, hundreds of ow, hundreds of gold. Like, you know, we've heard it all. So it's not, but you got it right the first time. Good job. And it's AU is astronomical units. That's where it comes from. Tom, this is the band. Tom started this band. I think technically he's the only original member because there's two. I don't know their names. If they listen to this, I hope I don't offend them for not knowing their names. But he had like two other cats playing with him for a little bit, and I guess he got the name out of he's a big reader, and so he got the name out of a science fiction book where it was describing how far they were from home. So it said we're hundreds of AU from home. And there was like an astrophysics. We played the show in PA where there was like an astrophysicist guy there. And he's like, why'd you pick AU? That's not even that long of a distance. I was like, yes, finally, the answers. Dude, I had so many questions. And he was super cool about it.
That's so amazing. So how'd you end up joining this band and becoming the new frontman?
All right. So there was for a few years I lived in southeastern Connecticut, city called Norwich. I was living out there for a while for work, and Tom had posted that they were looking for a singer. He posted actually twice. I expressed a little bit of interest the first time, but like, I just didn't know that it was something I could manage with a kid. And at that point, she was very young. I didn't know if it was something I was going to be able to manage doing. I really wanted to do it, but they're a busy band. And so it's kind of tough, especially with like, there's a 3-hour drive between where they rehearse and where I was living. So, so I kind of just didn't say anything and like, went off my own and did my own thing. And for a while, I'm still, I'm in a band, another band with Paul, and he, mentioned like, hey, we're all looking for another singer if you wanted to try it. I don't know. I was like, you know what? I'm going to go for it. I don't know if I'm the right fit, but I'll try it. And that was really it. I mean, I rehearsed. I rehearsed with them a couple times. I'm sure they needed to get the warm and fuzzy on me as well.
Yeah.
But, 2 of the 3 songs that we rehearsed. Now we only play one of them, but I rehearsed 3 songs with them, and we kind of went over them a bunch of times. And guess who's back? So we rehearsed 3 songs together, and then we kind of very quickly started I was like, here, they were like, here's new material. Just, here you go. Yeah. And that happened real fast. Nice. And it was like great for me because I was like ready to write some lyrics, and it was a huge challenge because I'm used to playing like caveman type of hardcore. Real nothing special about it as far as like odd time signatures or anything like that. And then this is like a totally different thing.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it was definitely a challenge for me. And I just tried to, I'm still trying. Like I look, sometimes I look over at them. I'm like, is this okay? But
yeah,
they, you know, like the cool thing about like joining a band like this is like everybody in that band is an adult.
Yeah.
And so there's no like weird rookie hazing bullshit that happens. Like they were just like, you know, they kind of acted like I'd sort of been there for a long time, treated me that way. They were really open to, I was real kind of pensive about like, you know, what do I interject? Like what, cause I was just trying to get the lay of the land and like see what their process is for like writing songs and where I could put myself that wasn't disruptive.
Yeah.
And the easiest thing for me to do was, well, they're working hard on all the music, so I'll just work hard on all the lyrics. And I worked very hard. And they make it easy because they record everything. They demo everything. So like Tom will write his guitar parts and then like put like, you know, fake drums behind it. So that way everybody has an idea of where, you know, what the feel of the song is.
Yeah.
I wrote lyrics to all that stuff.
Nice.
And some of them came really easy. And so it was really great for me. And then like go into and rehearse the, you know, what we've written and just go, oh, okay, there's a little too much here. So we need to move this around and this around. And then like, everything would just kind of fall into place. So I've struggled more trying to learn some of their older songs, which was like another huge reason why I joined, because they got bangers on every record.
Oh yeah.
And and some of them like, I'm like, I got to play this song. We got to play Deflection Arts. We have to, like, you don't understand, man. We got to play that song. It's a huge part of the reason I'm here. So they were always pretty cool about that. So they made it very, very easy for me. And there was the only bump in the road is a fun story now. So I played my first show with them last May, so May of 24, and it was with it was in Brooklyn. It was a 3-band bill. It was us, Slow Fire Pistol, who were amazing, and Loma Prieta. And I was like, it was nerve-wracking because I'm a pretty big Loma fan. So, Tom is vegan. He's like mega vegan. He's been doing it since it was like not easy to do. And I've been vegan for like 11 years now. And so he's like, and we're both Earth Crisis fans, and we're both 108 fans. So like there's a lot of music we don't agree on, but there's important stuff that we definitely agree on. And like, so he's like, yo, we can write a vegan song now. And that to my ears is, let's write a militant vegan song. And so I did, and it was fine. And then, but before the song started in the set, I went on like this tirade. And I was like, if you're not part of the solution, you're part of the problem. Like some BS like that. Yeah. And then the next day, we had like debrief afterwards. Yeah. And Tom was like, hey, listen, Brian, we're kind of an introverted band. we don't even, not even everybody in this band is vegan. So might want to dial the rhetoric back a little bit. Maybe go, hey, this is for the vegans, don't exclude people. And I was like, that is the hardest criticism I've gotten since being in the band, and I can certainly handle that. That's not a big deal. Because, like I said, I wanted to see where I could put myself and not be disruptive, and I touched the stove. That's okay. My hand's fine. So
it's fine. You've talked about lyrics, and you mentioned you wrote a song about parenthood. When I first put the record on this morning, went for a run, it like so many of the lyrics like stuck out to me, and like stuff where I'm like, oh, I need to go back and like it's one of those moments where I'm happy to have a digital promo, but I'm like, I need a CD booklet or a vinyl so I can like be reading along with the song. So talk to me about like the lyrical process and kind of things you were drawing on. It seems like there's probably some political things you're touching on as well as just personal.
The theme of the album, like a loose theme of the album, is just like I mentioned before, like growing up in Sussex County. It just seems like this real idyllic, quiet, beautiful, scenic place to live. There are no interstates pass through here, so it's like really kind of cut off, and people come up here from the city to get their Christmas trees, to get their pumpkins, to get their apples, you know what I mean? Like stuff like that during certain seasonal times. It's a really great place to go skiing because, you know, we have a big ski area around here as well. And that's really what it was to me. It was just a mountain area, a mountain town. Like, and now it's just turned into like, for one, you know, we're pretty kind of severely impacted by like opioid crisis around here. I know of several people that have died or like, you know, overdosed in the last few years. And then also there is just the way that the political culture, the MAGA political culture has kind of usurped what was like, you know, everybody kind of keep to themselves and like we're here so that we were not bothered, and now people are being bothered. These were a lot of like lake houses and cabins and stuff, and now there's like McMansions and stuff everywhere, and it's kind of sucks.
Yeah.
So that's like the backdrop of what's going on, and then lyrically, like each song's kind of touching on different things that I was like going through or thinking about. I mean, it's obviously political. We're political bands. We're, you know, I hope 10 years from now, 20 years from now, 30 years from now, I'm going to look back on those lyrics and I'm not going to be upset with any of it, because I wanted to be like true and represent the band, and the band to me is kind of like on the right side of like every issue. It would be, and maybe, and that's just subjective for me, but like not being down with genocide, like not being down with racism, not being down with homophobia, like just, you know, all that. There's the real basic sort of things, the tenets that we learn in punk rock early on, to judge people by the quality of their character and stuff like that. Like that's where I'm coming from. And so like we take a song like Wait Today, which is like, I wrote that song prior to the current administration taking office. I was one of the first songs that we wrote. I think it was actually the fourth song that we wrote as a band. And it just came to me really easy with like, they sent the riff, and I was like, this is something that we can have like pylons on stage. Like, this is my bread. This is what I want. And, but that's just about like waking up and like you're living in a fascist country, and like it's kind of happened. Yeah. And it's like insane. I don't know if I'm predicting the future here, but I don't think I was far off either. It was funny too, because like a year or so before that, somebody had said something to me like, yo, you might get reelected again. I'm like, nah, that ain't gonna happen. He tried to overturn the government. Come on, he's going to prison. Like, he's not getting reelected.
And here we are.
So yeah, there's that. I guess one of our favorites to play live is Scorched Earth Harvest. And when those like, they're down in the deep South, but they're also kind of like in like parts of the Midwest, those like tent churches. They're really small congregations with like snake oil salesmen and stuff. And they're just like, like they're speaking in tongues and they're doing all that and they're praying for the rapture. What if they prayed for it and then they came out of the tent and it actually happened? Like, that's where we're at. And like, I think that there is that American exceptionalism has taken over people's psyches so bad that they've equated like this idyllic form of Christianity with like American superiority.
Yeah.
And like they're like we're doing God's work. And I just don't see it that way. So that's that one. And then, there's a couple others too. I mean, I'm sure you were listening on a run. You don't know the track titles, and sometimes I forget them. So don't tell anybody. But I mean, like I got ones on there where I try to look at everything through a generational lens. I think it's useless to kind of look through like left and right and like Republican and Democrat, because they're going to get you anywhere. You're just going to be volleyed back and forth between the two. But if you look at things through like a generational lens, like I think my generation and my daughter's generation and you have a daughter? Is that what you said?
Daughter and son.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, your kids' generation.
Yeah.
Like they're not going to be better off than we were, and we're not better off than our parents. Like we were kind of sold an American dream that if you keep your nose clean, do a lot of things right, go to school, work hard, you're going to get these things. And like, and I'm not, as somebody who I don't need a lot. I just want secure housing, secure food. Like I think everybody should have those things. And I think like you would think by now we would have figured that out. Like when I went to public school. New Jersey's got extremely good public schools. I'm veering a little bit, but just to give you an idea where I'm coming from, like New Jersey's got very good public schools. So like when I was in grade school, like when like Black History Month and stuff would come along, I thought that it's history. Like racism is over. Like I really believe that.
Yeah.
I think I was sitting in class thinking, we're learning about Martin Luther King right now and all the great things that he did. So and as children, we're learning this. Like maybe our parents weren't receptive to it because they were kind of like, it was happening when they were young. But like, and history takes a little. I didn't know this at the time, but like history takes a little while to kind of grab hold. Mm-hmm. But surely, when I become an adult, the racism and like, just overall, like racism, homophobia, like, xenophobia, all that stuff, like that'll be gone. That's going to be way gone. Like we're not even going to have to deal with that. That's going to be then we're going to look back at that the same way we look back at slavery, is just like a real, just dumbass bullshit. And like now it's like alive and well and thriving. And like
we got fucking Nazis. Like
we like fucking literal Nazis. So we have there's a Gestapo. Yep. Like, how is this happening? And it's really disheartening too. And the fact that there's a quote unquote opposition party to this, which is the Democrats, who are so bad at messaging, who are so bad at putting up a fight, who are so afraid of like proposing progressive policies and doing it in a way that people can understand. Like, hey, I know you don't agree with me on a lot of things, but based on your job, your level of income, your dependence, these policies benefit you exponentially. Mm-hmm. And like they're so fucking afraid to do that. Mm-hmm. And they so catered to the whims of like, the corporate elite, and it's like Wall Street and stuff. It was pathetic to watch. And I don't think they're going to get any better, because how many times do they have to lose spectacularly before learning anything?
Right. And then when you see somebody like Mondani in New York, like rise up and get people excited, they're like, oh, fucking socialist. And
and now they're turning on him. And
it's like
I watched a video of Cuomo talking about like, me and Trump have a lot in common. Like, what are you fucking talking about?
We don't want that. We don't.
What are you talking about? Yeah, no, Mondani's a great example. And like, there's always going to be like, there's, the Bernies who like, we idolize, and like, the rest of them are just shit kickers, and they're not helping at all.
Mm-hmm.
Like Gavin Newsom has a podcast. Why does he have a fucking podcast? Who gives a shit what he has to say?
Talking to right wingers and shit. So it's like, it's fucking horrible.
It's horrible. So yeah, I don't, unfortunately, like I have to kind of have hope for the future.
Well, I was gonna say I love that like waves of piety, that like spoken word that ends is like, you know, it might feel like hope is necessary. Like you got to keep fighting, and you know, hope isn't this pie in the sky thing. It can be tangible. Like,
well, that's, you know what, and that's I'm really, I didn't know what Ryan was going to contribute to. So Ryan Slauson from Closer and Sanagi is the person who did that, and I think it's a poem that he had found and he wanted to read, and I didn't know what it was going to be until I actually heard it, and I think it stands in contrast in a real. Listen, the road to fascism is paved with people who are said you're overreacting, right? Yeah. I'm getting that. I get that a lot. You're overreacting. You're not. You know, he's not going to do that. He's doing it. So he's not gonna lock people up without them getting a chance to defend themselves in court. He's doing it, and not only is he doing it, he's sending them to another country, and we don't know what happens to them over there. And some of them are American citizens. So don't, you know what I mean? Ryan's contribution stands in contrast to a lot of the things that I said, not in a way that's like negating it, but like more in a comforting way. He tries to be the like inner voice of hope. That's what he sounds like to me. And I was so happy when he sent that over and you know, it was sent to us. Like I was so happy with it. I think it sounded really great. And you know, like you said, it went right into Waves, and Waves is basically me, like our generation talking to the generation that follows us. Yeah. And like, that's why there's a part, and I just know we tried so many times, like that we did.
This album's coming out on Iodine. How'd you get connected with Casey and the label?
I think that really comes by way of like Tom. I guess from my understanding, Tom and Casey kind of knew each other prior. Tom has been in so many amazing bands, and I'm not sure which one of them Casey and Tom became friends. But it's crazy that we're on that label because they've put together a ton of great collections. Yeah. For one, like some of the reissues have been great. About the Quicksand reissue, it's awesome. Yeah. But they're also putting out really good original stuff too. Yeah. Like that Unsufferable 7-inch is sick. The No Man record is sick. So I was thrilled to be part of it. And they're putting out the new Modern Life is War record, which is pretty rad. So yeah, it's that they, you know, I guess they approached Tom, and we had a meeting with them, and I was still very new to the band. So I think there was like a little bit of like, who's that guy? But and then like it took, I think the first meeting we had was like, you know, we did it online, on Zoom or whatever, and it was like an hour or so long, and they just seemed like really dedicated, nice people, and everybody had a role, and they could like really easily explain. I've had interactions with labels before where they can't explain what their goal is for you. Yeah. And Iodine was able to do that and really disarm any sort of like apprehension that I would have about, you know, being picked up by any label. I mean, I'm happy that anybody would be willing to put out music, but like the fact that they were so adamant about like getting it right, doing good by us, and they've been incredible. So I could not be happier. And it's awesome.
Nice. Album's out August 22nd. I saw you have a couple shows listed around the release in September, but what's the plan? Is the band going to try to tour this fall, or is that just like try to pick up spot shows here or there because everybody is an adult with jobs and kids? And
that's the hard part. So the plan now, we got those few in September around well, not around when the record comes out, but that's the only time we real, because Tom's in a bunch of bands, Paul's in a bunch of bands, I'm in two, Buzz is in two, John's in two, so we're all just doing what we can.
Yeah.
And we're gonna pick, we got those couple in September, which we're all really stoked about. I think there's gonna be 3 for that, and then October we got a couple that are, I don't think they've been formally announced, so I don't want to announce them yet, but one of them is very, very special up in New Jersey. And I can't. I wish I could. When we're not recording, I'll tell you. All right. And then in November, we have we'll actually be kind of coming close down to your area. I'll be going to playing a show in Baltimore.
Okay.
So we usually our touring so far has just been like, kind of like 2 or 3 days,
spot
like
shows,
weekenders, overnights, stuff like that. The last one was wild. We went. This is actually my first time. We played in Montreal. It was my first time playing out of the country, and I had such a great time.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was so great. Like, I loved Montreal. I ate so good. All the people that came out to the show were really, really nice and very receptive audience. Which, as a you travel that far, that's really all you could ever hope for, is just like people who are to give you the time and listen. And it was a great club, so it was just a wonderful experience for me, and for the rest of us too. So we all had a great time. It was great.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, when we went to Vancouver last September, and it was like, I was just like, man, there's so much vegan food everywhere. It was so amazing. Every block you just
yeah, man,
it was great. I'm like,
yeah. Montreal was the same thing. And what's funny too is, like, I was real nervous too, because I don't speak French at all. Like, maybe a little bit. Not good. Not good.
Not well.
Not something I would advertise.
Yeah.
But like, I would be like looking at the menu, and like, they would ask me what I want in French, and I could pick that up, and then I would say something, and then they would just switch to English, and it's like, okay, and like, not in a mean way, not like like more like do you want, like, what do you want for a side? And I'd be like, I don't want fries, thank you. But like, that's it was pretty cool. So Canada was great to me. So I had such a great time. I'm very, I don't have the, I guess, like, storied, great discography that a guy like, like Tom has, and a couple of the other guys in this band have really been a part of great projects, all of them. And I'm just really thankful to have been a part of this. For me, again, smaller sample compared to, I guess, to everybody else, but like, this is certainly the best record that I will have ever released. And, I am just so thankful that the people are listening to the singles that we've put out so far, and I've gotten some really, really nice feedback from people that I've never really gotten before, and I'm just totally blown away by it. And I'm just really grateful to have been given the opportunity. So it's been awesome.